Novak Djokovic. Are you surprised by his gold medal win over Carlos Alcaraz, Sam?
I'm maybe a little bit surprised. I mean, it was incredible to have Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz playing the final. There's one thing that Novak Djokovic didn't have, a gold medal. And you can see, I mean, watching the match, I remember watching with my wife and telling her late in that second set that Novak is putting every ounce of his mental energy, his physical energy into this match right now. I think he needed to win that second set. And you saw when he won that match, the emotional energy that like spewed out of his body. It was a really special thing to see. It was one of the coolest moments as like a tennis fan to watch that I've ever had, to see what that meant to him. You could see that it meant more to him than some other Grand Slams that he's won in the past. So it was a special moment. I was so happy for him. And you were you commentating that?
I was, yeah. It was.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll be honest. It was, one of my coolest moments as a commentator working in the sport. To be able to call that final with Alcaraz and Djokovic was, it was a to call it with Mary Carrillo was pretty special. We didn't have to do much. We just sat back and watched two of the greatest. Carlos Alcaraz, arguably going to be one of the greats of the game. We'll see how many Grand Slam he ends up with by the end of his career. But Novak, just what he was able to do. Sam, I was more like overwhelmed when I saw him win the semifinal. When he won the semifinal, you saw his vulnerabilities throughout this tournament, because matches that even when he played Rafa, when he was up a set and 4-1, 2 breaks, you're like, oh, it's over. And then he visibly choked. Like, he played some shocking tennis, and we're not used to that from him. And then in the semifinals, to see him like go to the ground and like gesture the way he did to make a final, we don't see that from him. And he said it after the match, where he's like, I finally get a chance to play for a gold, because he's never played for a gold in all his 5th Olympics. That's how much it meant to him. I mean, incredible effort in the end from him. Just unbelievable. And he played so solid. And I thought the one thing, I don't know about you, I thought the one thing Alcaraz, the mistake he made, he didn't step up on return. I thought he was playing way too deep on the second serve in particular. And you know what this feels like? I mean, you don't, because you had such a great serve, but the vulnerability of Novak's second serve sometimes is in question, right? And I felt like Alcaraz wasn't putting any pressure on it whatsoever. And he was hitting like 70-mile-an-hour second serves just in the middle of the box. And it wasn't getting punished. And I think in the end, that hurt Alcaraz, and Novak standing up on the baseline, even though it was hurting him through the set because he couldn't get the kicker. That's what helped him in the big moments. It was amazing how he turned it around in the tiebreak, just 1 or 2 little points that ended up winning him the match.
No, I think you're spot on. It was pretty cool to see with an athlete. I feel like the entire year Novak was telling us, look, my goal this year is to get a gold medal. And then to go out there and not have a great year in terms of Novak standard, and then get to the Olympics and fight through some of those tough matches along the way to the gold medal, and then to actually get the gold medal, do that thing that you've been telling people the whole year, that like, hey, this is the number one thing I want to accomplish, was an amazing thing to see. And I said this on another podcast earlier in the week. Like, I'm not necessarily a crier. I was like wiping away some tears almost at the end, seeing how much it meant to Novak Djokovic.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, he joins now an exclusive club of gold medal champions in singles, because Rafa won it in singles and doubles. Steffi, of course, did what we probably will never see in anyone's lifetime, winning all 4 Grand Slams and then winning the gold medal. But Novak joins, Andre Agassi, the likes of these players. And Roger Federer is not even on that list. Although Roger won a gold medal in doubles, he never did this in singles. And so that's something that I'm sure Novak is really happy that he's got over Roger as well.
People don't care, though. My friends and I always joke, if you're an Olympic gold medalist, may that be in doubles, mixed doubles, singles, or you're on the men's water polo team, women's basketball team, when you're announced at an event, you're just announced as a gold medalist. They don't specify the event that you won. So, yes, the tennis insiders know that Novak has the singles and Roger has the doubles, but the world just knows they both have a gold.
Yeah, well, talk to the Novak and Roger fans about that, because they'll let you know exactly how they feel.
Right.
So Rafael Nadal, he's confirmed out of the Olympics, that he won't be playing the US Open. I'm just curious on your thoughts. Where does this go now for Rafa? Because I mean, I didn't think he was going to play the U.S. Open, but what is there left for him now to do? He's playing the Laver Cup, but what do we expect here?
I don't know. It's like we've kind of been wondering this, talking about this. I feel like since the French Open, which was the first week of June. So we're coming on 3 months now of, is Rafa done? Is Rafa not done? I think he said he's going to play in the Laver Cup.
Yeah.
Is that going to be his last event? Does he want to leave the same way Roger left? I kind of want him to have his last tournament be a different one than Roger, but I think he's still unsure, and I kind of feel for him at this point. I think so much of him wants to keep playing. He's obviously passionate about tennis, loves the game, but he just doesn't know how his body's going to react day to day. And hopefully he gets a sign at some point from his body, from his mind, his friends and family, because I want him to get that closure that he hopefully deserves.
Yeah, it's a really tough one. Obviously, we saw some players at the Olympics. I'll get to that when we wrap up the Olympics a little bit. But yeah, it was pretty incredible to see him play in the singles and the doubles. It's a shame that he had to play Novak second round. But yeah, this is, where do we go from here with Nadal? Clearly, hard court is a big issue for him, for his body. So clearly, that's why one of the reasons he's not playing on the hard court. But you can't wait for a year for clay. I mean, so the next question is, where does he go out, like you said? And hopefully it's in a way that he wants it to be that way.
It's a little surprising to me that he pulled out. He made the announcement of not playing the U.S. Open so far ahead of the U.S. Open. 4 or 5 weeks prior to the U.S. Open, said, I'm not going to play. You don't know how you're going to feel in 5 weeks. Maybe he was going to feel good and he could play, but obviously his body's telling him he can't do it. And so it's a bummer for everyone.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Fingers crossed. At some point, we're going to know pretty soon. What do you think of the exchange of the Emma Navarro situation at the Olympics with Qinwen? I mean, it was bizarre. And I was doing that match, and I actually commented after the shake of hands, oh, that's nice that they had a nice moment at the net. Like, they looked like they were just chatting, but it was a little ugly there. I don't know, Sam, what your thoughts are on this, but it was very interesting because I've not heard in the locker room that Zheng isn't a bad person in the locker room. So, I mean, obviously I haven't been in the locker room in a while, but that was an interesting situation for Emma Navarro, who's usually so laid back and chill.
Both players, you don't hear much from either of them ever.
Yeah.
Right? They're both quiet, especially Emma Navarro. She is the most, maybe, her and Jessica Pegula, you don't see them have extreme highs, extreme lows, very level-headed. But yeah, it was interesting. The entire U.S. women's team, you saw a little fight from Navarro. Coco Gauff had some fight. Danielle Collins always has a little drama of sorts. I think Jessica Pegula maybe felt left out. She was the only one that didn't have an altercation on the Team USA women. But I think it's something that was just a little moment. I think it's past kind of now. No one's going to talk about it. But it was surprising, especially since Emma Navarro seems like the most quiet, sweetest, calmest kind of one of the female players on the tour right now.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously she spurred on Qinwen to go and win a gold medal, which was phenomenal. I just really quick want to touch on that situation. I mean, going through and winning the gold medal, beating Iga Swiatek, that we didn't think was possible to actually beat someone like Iga at the French Open, where we played the French Open, where she's undefeated over the last 3 years, and she's won the tournament 4 times there. So that was a spectacular win for her. But also I wanted, a lot of pressure on Iga Swiatek to win the gold there. I mean, that was like Rafa at his prime, not winning a gold medal at Roland Garros if they had the Olympics, him in singles. So that was a bit of a shock, but congrats to her to get through and win, not only beat Iga, but then to follow it up in the final against Donna Vekic, who also amazing month of tennis for her, semis of Wimbledon and finals of the Olympics. So it was a pretty spectacular tournament on the women's side, just a lot more, as per usual, unexpected finalists.
Right. And to win the final after beating Iga Swiatek, it's almost tougher sometimes to win that final. You beat Iga Swiatek, who everyone had penciled in to win the gold medal.
Yep.
And then you go into the gold medal match as the overwhelming favorite, and to come, maybe not overwhelming, but heavy favorite, and to come through and win that after winning a big match. You know what it's like after you have a big upset in a tournament. Yeah. Sometimes that next match is the hardest one. So it was, good on her for focusing, digging down, and finishing what she started, winning that gold medal.